Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today because we're going to be unlocking a linguistic secret that honestly frustrates even the most dedicated language learners out there. We're talking about fluent English blends. You know, if you've ever felt like native speakers are just operating on a completely different frequency, making it nearly impossible to catch what they're saying, well, you are exactly in the right place.
Have you ever asked yourself, why do native speakers sound so incredibly fast? It's a huge universal pain point, right? You put in the work, you study the vocabulary, you master those complex grammar rules, but then when you hear the language spoken in the real world, it's just this rapid blur of sound. Okay, let's dive into this because the truth is, it's actually a complete myth that they're just speed talking to confuse you.
What's really happening mechanically here is a concept called word blends. Native speakers aren't actually rushing their words. What they're doing is blending them together, instead of saying every single word separately. So instead of distinctly pronouncing each word with these neat little spaces in between, they just smush them into single fluid sounds. That mechanical shortcut, that's the absolute secret sauce to sounding natural.
To help you master this, we've organized 15 essential, everyday blends into 5 clear conversational toolkits. First up, needs and intentions. Then, asking questions like a local. Third, quick requests and commands. After that, casual softeners and shortcuts. And finally, unlocking your natural fluency. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Needs and intentions. This is all about expressing what you want or what you absolutely must do.
Know what's really interesting about this is how 4 super common phrases just completely transform when native speakers express a personal need. Going to becomes gonna, want to transforms into wanna, got to shrinks right down to gotta, and have to shifts into have to. Notice how that hard T sound basically just vanishes across the board? It lets the words flow together without you having to stop the breath in your mouth.
To see this in practice, just think about a standard textbook sentence. I am going to study tonight. Every syllable is isolated. It sounds a bit robotic, doesn't it? But watch what happens when we use the blend. I'm going to study tonight. I'm gonna. See how much smoother that delivery is? It takes way less effort. Try saying it with me wherever you are right now. Seriously, try it. I'm going to study tonight.
Section 2. Asking questions like a local. This is where we learn how to sound natural when inquiring about things.
Let's look at one of the absolute most famous examples of this. The formal textbook version is, "What are you doing?" You hit every single word hard. But out in the real world, this instantly turns into, "What you doing?" Whatcha. That entire "what are you" cluster just crashes together into a simple, punchy whatcha sound. What you doing right now? It saves a tremendous amount of time, and honestly, it sounds incredibly local.
And this transformation pattern continues heavily with the word you. When you follows a word ending in a D sound, it completely morphs into a J sound. So did you becomes didya, would you becomes woulda, and could you becomes coulda. The mechanics here are actually fascinating. Your tongue is literally taking a physical shortcut inside your mouth to get to that next word faster.
So, in a real-world context, a parent or a friend might ask, "Did you finish your homework?" Instead of meticulously and painfully pronouncing "did you," you just slide right through that opening phrase. "Did you finish your homework?" I highly encourage you to practice saying this one out loud right now too. Did ya? Mastering this specific J sound shift, that's a real game changer. It instantly levels up your conversational flow.
Moving right along to Section 3, quick requests and commands. We're going to talk about streamlining your instructions.
When issuing common commands, give me turns into gimme. Let me becomes lemme. And tell them shifts to tell 'em. The pattern here is pretty brilliant. We are entirely dropping those hard-ending consonant sounds of the first word. We lose the V in give, the T in let, and the TH in them. It's all about merging the words effortlessly so the listener just hears one continuous instruction.
And this brilliantly illustrates the blend in action. Let me explain. Just hear how much softer and more inviting that is than a harsh commanding, "Let me explain." Dropping that T keeps the conversation relaxed, right? And it allows you to move into your explanation without creating this unnecessary aggressive pause.
Section 4. Casual softeners and shortcuts. These are the tricks for making your conversation flow smoothly.
There are 4 massive conversational shortcuts you'll hear constantly that act as vital little filler words. Kinda becomes kinda. Sort of becomes sorta. Don't know shrinks all the way down to dunno, and out of turns into outa. English speakers use these all the time to soften absolute statements and honestly just save their breath. Saying I am kind of tired feels a little stiff, but saying I'm kind of tired, that feels incredibly natural, casual, and it's universally understood.
Let's anchor this in a highly relatable, albeit a bit unfortunate scenario. I'm out of money. Look, when you're speaking casually with a friend, you don't really want to over-enunciate. I'm out of money rolls perfectly right off the tongue. It's relaxed and effortless, even if the situation you're describing definitely isn't. Finally, Section 5, Unlocking Your Natural Fluency. Let's take this from theory to daily practice.
So the absolutely crucial point here is how you actually integrate this into your everyday life. We can break it down into a simple, actionable 3-step method directly from our source material. Step 1, practice them slowly at first. Seriously, don't rush it. Get your mouth used to physically making these new blended shapes like woulda and gimme. Step 2, use them actively in your daily conversations. Force yourself to swap out those formal, robotic versions. And Step 3, enjoy the results, because the more you use them, the more natural and fluent your spoken English will objectively become over time.
Which brings us to our final and probably most important question for you. Which of these 15 English blends will you try using in a real conversation today? I challenge you to pick just 1 or 2 right now. Maybe start with watcha or gonna, and just test them out. It is all about building up that verbal muscle memory. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep practicing these tools, have some fun with them, and I'll catch you in the next one.